What gets an entrepreneur started on their journey? This also brings the question of competition.
Then you're going to get higher click-through rates, higher call, build $1 million business. A lot of different places to make money with like personalized videos. Of course, but the reality is that I think that there are huge opportunity that exists for personalized video.
Hello, Henry. It's superb to have you here. How's it going?
Going well, Brad. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing awesome. Tell me about yourself and tell me about Convi as well. Super excited.
Yeah, I mean, where do I really begin? So Convi is a platform for personalizing videos at scale for e-commerce stores. So basically, we take one video and then we allow you to actually replace the words in that video. So a video of me saying, "Hey, Brad," could become a video of me saying, "Hey, Henry." And the reason that we do this is because it lets you basically generate a whole bunch of videos, send them to your customers, and then you're going to get higher click-through rates, higher call to action rates, and basically boost your conversion rates overall. So the name Convi actually comes from conversion video. The company's actually called Conversion Videos Inc., like legally. So basically, you know, our goal is creating videos that help bring people from one step to the next step, and that's like what we're passionate about. Like that's what like we are nerds about. And, you know, we were nerds about that before AI, but now that we have like all these new technologies and tools at our disposal, we're able to make really, really engaging videos that surprise and delight people. So I hope that makes sense. Some backstory for Convi.
I've always been like interested to know what gets an entrepreneur started on their journey and also looking back how they connected to their idea. For you, Henry, how did the idea of Convi come about?
Yeah, so the way I started like in entrepreneurship was that my best friend Daniel and I, he's now my co-founder, but years ago when we were like kind of just like buddies, we watched this TV show called Undercover Billionaire, and it was a TV show about billionaires where they would give them $100 and an iPhone and some clothes, and they would send them to like the middle of nowhere in the US, send them to like, you know, some random, totally random town, not a big city. And they would have 90 days to make $1 million business.
Within just 90 days?
Yeah. They're like 3 months in and out. Like, can you go from, you know, almost zero to like $1 million in 90 days? And the idea was like, is the American dream still alive? Because anyone can get $100 in an old truck, you know, and a phone. Right. Most people probably have those. But the idea was like, can you go from this to, you know, a millionaire like in 90 days? And like, if you're a billionaire, you know, you should probably like, do you actually deserve to be a billionaire? Like, were you just lucky or do you really know how to do this? So we started watching this show and we were like, this is awesome. We're going to do this. So over the next 90 days, we were like, we try to build $1 million business. You know, we of course didn't. We had no idea what we were doing. We built like a software development company. We built like websites and stuff. And what we did do was like learn a tremendous amount. And that was kind of how I got started in entrepreneurship. As far as Convi itself goes, yeah, so I'm a big fan of Alex Hormozi, if you're familiar with him. And one of his podcast episodes, he talks about what he would do when he needed cash was he would go to like a gym and he would basically work as a salesperson there and sell fitness programs to like make extra cash if he just needed like money at the time. And so there was a time in my life, there was many times in my life where like I needed a little extra cash. So I would do that. And I would go to the gym and I would be like, hey, do you have any extra space in your classes? And they would be like, yeah. And I'd be like, look, can I sell? Like this was the deal, right? It was like, I'm going to market and sell these programs for like a 6-week fitness course, but I'm going to keep all the upfront cash in. Like I'm just going to keep all the money and put them in your class. But once they've completed those 6 weeks, like they'll be customers of your gym. So there's like a really compelling offer for gyms because it was like, hey, do you want free customers? Like I will literally I will spend my own money, run all the ads, like nurture the leads to get them to show up, which as it turns out is really difficult to do, especially for like a free in-person, like a free consultation. Like only like a third of people showed up. It depends a lot where you are in the world. But for me, I was in the UK, I was in Scotland at the time, like a really small number of people showed up. And one of the tactics he talks about, like Hormozi, he was like, what you should do is wake up early in the morning, go to the gym, you know, get your like iPhone and just record a video for every single person. Be like, hey Brad, what's up? Like, I'm outside the gym right now. Excited to see you later today. Let's make it happen. Want to talk about your fitness goals, whatever the script was. And so I started doing that, and that absolutely ripped. The amount of people that showed up, like, went through, like, almost everybody. It went from, like, literally me being no-showed on, like, most meetings to having, like, 80% of people showing up, which was, like, a game changer. So then I was like, okay, this is powerful. And that was when I started getting interested in, like, the power of personalization. Because I was split tested it, because I was like, all right, I don't know if I want to, like, get up every morning and like run and film all these videos. So I had like a standard video, and then I had like a personalized version. And like the personalized version was just so effective that then as soon as the technology started to become available for us to like generate these at scale, I was like, this is the business that I want to start. So that's how I ended up in Convi. Yeah.
That's great. Like, if you think about it, like personalization is something that we almost don't expect from big businesses, and that's when, like, when it happens, it's special for everyone, right?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, and like it doesn't need to be that way. Like, kind of the point of personalization is to make communications from a person that you don't like. We all love to talk to our friends, text them, call them up, whatever. Yeah, it's like awesome. What's up, man? How's it going? You want to talk to them like like you already know them. And as it turns out, people just like talking with people that know them. And kind of the point of personalization is to be able to communicate with a customer like you know them. Like, even if you don't, right? And ideally, like, as a company, like, you have people in the company, and like they can have relationships with their customers. Like, the entire time that I've been in business, I've had clients and customers that like you're friends with. You're like, yeah, what's up, man? Like, how's it going? And like, ideally, you have a company where that's the culture, where people like the company and they like the people in the company, and they communicate with them like they communicate with their friends, because that's what actually makes it enjoyable. When they have the opportunity to communicate however they want, like, that's how people communicate. So our goal is to empower brands to be able to have that personalization, and then give them the data, the analytics, to know what's actually working in those videos, so that they can create the best ones. Because if you can't measure it, you can't improve it, and we're all about improving things.
Impressive. It's utterly impressive choosing a niche and doing like personalized AI video for that. I was thinking about it, like, is it that the market of conversion tools is where the money is to be made? Is that based on an insight?
So there's a lot of different places to make money with like personalized videos. Of course, sales tools is one of the things that comes to mind. There's you can build personalized videos for education, right? Whether that's like school, in the school system, or like within businesses. Personalized videos for all sorts of different things. We specifically just chose this niche because like we just like it, and we have experience in this niche. But really, we could have chose any, and I think that there's a lot of different businesses that will be built like in the coming years, like doing some sort of AI video, whether it's personalization, AI video editing, that will be built in a lot of different industries and a lot of different niches. And the fact that we've chosen to focus on e-commerce, like that's just the one that we've decided to do. But like we could have decided to do any of them and built a really incredible, profitable business in any of them. So if you already have past experience in something, then like you already know how to speak to those customers and solve those problems. And so that's what a lot of it comes down to.
And product-wise, it's always super impressive and super interesting to know about. Like, I'm genuinely curious about the workflow though, because I've dabbled in like RVC, like retrieval-based conversion, voice conversion, and the root framework on GitHub earlier in I think 2022. And so something similar along these lines, although of course nowhere commercially or as professionally. So I want to know from you, Henry, without of course giving away any proprietary secrets, can you explain it to us simply what's happening behind the product?
Yes, basically, in very basic terms, we synthesize a copy of your voice. Then we do a text-to-speech of your voice. We identify the words that want to be replaced, and then we turn that audio into silence, and then we use the synthesized version of your voice to create a new one and plug it in. And then now we have video, and then we have an audio sample that doesn't match. So then we have an algorithm to edit the lip movement to match the new audio. And I can't really go more in depth than that. Talk to my CTO, yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome, yeah. It's super interesting, right? What we've been able to achieve in just the past 3-4 years with AI.
Yeah, it's gone from a year-to-year thing to like month-to-month, and now it feels like it's week-to-week. Like every week there's something new. Like, lots of products will have some sort of AI incorporated into them, and there's so many different places you can incorporate AI in terms of like just ideation, like just little things that you can do to make things better. And like it's really exciting to see the advances in technology that allow us to take advantage of that for our product, and also seeing it happen for other products across the board. It's just really a really exciting time. We were talking about this, me and my friends talking about this yesterday. It's just such an exciting time to be in, to just be a human and just see this like level of innovation.
This also brings the question of competition. How are you guys handling the CAC situation? What channel of acquisition has worked the best for Convi?
Yeah, so we found a lot of different channels work well. In terms of like competition, we don't really concern ourselves too much with like trying to look at or copy or go head to head with the competition. We really just focus on creating the best possible product that we can and best experience. But the reality is that I think that there are huge opportunity that exists for personalized videos. Right, like customer communication is like a personalized video. Like the market is not saturated or even close. And even once you reach that point, there's still like more use cases like in the world. So it's not really a matter of like, oh no, like there's no customers left. Everyone's getting like AI personalized videos like on a daily basis all the time till they're literally like, it's just normal. Like, oh yeah, this is just normal. Like, you think about like email personalization, right? Like right now, if you get an email, it's going to have your first name like 99% of the time. Like if every email I get, it's like, hey Henry, what's up Henry? Henry, we want to talk about this. And it's like, okay, cool. That's like the level of personalization that I believe video will reach like in the next 5 years maybe, and depending on a lot of different factors.
Right.
And like I believe that's where we're going. And if you look at where we are right now, where most people like have never received a personalized video in their life, like almost everyone, there's so much room to grow that in terms of competition, that's not really something that like we're worried about. There won't be enough space in the market. Like there's plenty of room for everybody to adopt this technology. Now, obviously our goal is to become the leader, and the way that we do that is by focusing on ourselves, our customers, and creating the best possible product for them.
Point of adoption really makes me think like, do you guys have to focus more on like customer education, or people are already inclined and they were just looking for a solution? So when Convi comes in, they're like, oh, it's awesome, we can just use the.
Yeah, it's a mixture. There's a lot of people that are looking for a solution. There's a lot of people even that are looking for a solution that's like even more advanced, right? Like there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I want to just have like a full, like an avatar, right? Like Convi is basically an editing tool. So we let you take an existing video and then we edit in, like we create permutations of that video, but like, AI generations, we call them. And a lot of people are like, can you just like take a photo of me and like print a million videos, like take a scan of my head and then like make all these templates and like make everything work? And like the answer is like, yeah, in like 2 years, right? But not right now. And so there's all sorts of variants across the level of market sophistication. There's definitely a large segment of people that like don't know this exists or don't know that this works as a solution. But people are becoming so used to AI and so used to just like seeing some crazy like new technology that the market's much more open to something like this, and also much more ready to adopt than it maybe would have been like 5 or 6 years ago, before ChatGPT took the world by storm and things started changing.
Do you see AI video applications in content creation as well? And how so?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually believe that pretty soon, when you open up TikTok or Instagram Reels, every video will be personalized. Like pretty soon, I think that that'll actually become a reality, because it's just people watch them more. At the end of the day, the big thing that these companies are all optimizing for is retention rate. Like, how do we get people to watch towards the end? How do we create an engaging hook? If you can create personalized hooks, which is essentially what Convi does, right? Like the most effective thing in the video you can personalize is the greeting, because that's the hook. So like eventually I do believe that all social media will be personalized, and so that you actually get things that are relevant to you as an individual. Like they speak specifically to you. And that doesn't mean that'll be all video, right? Like people still want to watch the Super Bowl and have it be the Super Bowl. People still want to watch James Bond and have it be like James Bond, because they want a social experience from that video. But there's certain videos that you don't want a social experience from. If you're trying to learn calculus, then having a teacher that speaks specifically, you can take a test and then they can teach you specifically at the level that you want to learn from. Like that's awesome. And like no one's like looking to have a social experience. Like, yeah, we all watch that same like calculus video. So there will be applications. That's not really what Convi focuses on necessarily, right now, but there definitely will be like that. I do believe that will happen, and probably more than just spoken word. Well, there'll probably be personalization of content, graphics, editing styles. Like all of that will become generatable, if that's a word.
Your opinion on Sora? What do you think of that?
Yeah, super cool stuff. I'd say from my understanding, it's extremely resource intensive. But yeah, I don't know a ton about it. I know that there's other AI video generators. Like what we do at Convi is kind of more on the bulk video editing. So, the concept behind Convi is like, how can we give everyone their own video that's for them? Versus something like Sora, which is like, how can we just make a new video? Like go from text to video, which is awesome. It's super cool. It's just different from what we do. Like, so I don't really worry about them in terms of like, oh, this is like a competitor or anything, but I really like them in terms of just what that technology will open up. And also what we're going to start seeing and what we're already seeing is like the interlacing and overlaying of these AI technologies, right? Like if you can like make a video with Sora and then like you can personalize it with Convi and then you can edit it with like Shorts or whatever clipping app, like you can create a really awesome tech stack that automates a lot of processes that would have had to be done by humans. And a lot of those processes are things that are super boring, but like recording the same video 10 times and just saying a different name each time, or taking a long form thing and clipping it. Yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see the quality of content on the internet continue to increase as it has been. If you go back, you look at like YouTube, even like 10 years ago, it's like not as good, right?
That's true. Now we have almost like nearing Netflix level quality.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. You see some of the things like Mr. Beast, some of these huge YouTubers are making. Like, it's crazy to think this is the same platform that was, not that long ago putting out like Gundam Style and stuff. Like things that were like, oh, this is like funny, but like wasn't something people really took like seriously, and now it definitely is.
People's conviction has increased much more. I mean, an example could be like someone like Gox Art. He like puts hours into just one shot. And that's something that you don't hear from YouTube creators.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see more and more of that, of people putting a lot of time and effort into making shorts that are incredible. I think that the short form market is still maturing in the same way that like the YouTube creator, like the whole creator economy is going to mature, and we'll see them start to be taken more and more seriously as like a career choice and also as advertisers. And one other thing that's really interesting is a shifting of the algorithm away from like follower based, like pushing videos based on the follower counts or the previous performance of that person's videos, and pushing them more on the existing analytics of that video. So like what that means is that you can be a creator and you can create your first video and like you can go viral on your first video because the analytics on that video just rip, even if you don't have 1 million subscribers or like a long history of. Yeah, no, well, like we've had experience with like, like this has always been possible, but it's become much easier in recent years as the algorithms have moved more towards I don't want to say a meritocracy of content, but really focusing more on like pushing content that's good rather than pushing creators.
Makes sense. Like you work with a lot of brands for Convi, right? Is there some common insight that you have gotten that's super interesting to share?
Yeah, so some brands can get an outsized return. Like some brands can do better than others. And a lot of that comes down to like, okay, who's making the video? So like if you have a influencer or you have a founder, like a person who's associated with the brand that is like recognizable to their audience, then like they're going to get an outsized return because people are like, oh my gosh, it's the person I know and they're saying my name. It's like a double whammy versus just one. So if you have like an influencer person associated with the brand, like that's huge. And then obviously like the quality of the video itself. So like if you're selling, for example, like it's a teeth whitening product, if you just have like a guy sitting there saying like, hey, like, hey Brad, like, and just reading the script, like that's pretty cool. But if you have like a dentist in a doctor's office and they're like, then they're saying it, then like now that's way more impactful. It's like, oh, hey, like this person has like authority because like they're in this, they're in the environment that I was expecting to be in. Basically, you can see like, you can, like, it's just creating a really good video, like a video that people really want to watch. You can do cool stuff, making a video that's funny. Those brands that are able to do that, they can get an outsized return. They can get a huge, return. The thing about Convi is that, like, it's pouring gas on the fire of a flame of a video that's already working. Like, if you have a video that's converting really well, and then you add Convi on top of it, like, now you're going to be ripping super hard. Part of, like, what we work with brands on is like helping them to craft the perfect video and test and figure out like what is really going to rip so that they can get the highest ROI on moat. In terms of like a moat, we just try to do a really good job. And in my opinion,
competition is not that huge at this time. It's not to be bothered with.
Like this is a really, really new space. Like it's really new. You look at like this is a whole kind of new category. Like there's basically no companies in this field that are more than a few years old. So it's like even the companies that there are all basically brand new. You know, a lot of companies that enter this space as well are venture backed, which is you're making a high risk, high reward play when you raise capital like that. Basically you're saying like, hey, you know, now we're gonna like, you know, probably have a burn rate. We're probably gonna need to continually raise, like hit lots of milestones very quickly, otherwise the company goes under. We are bootstrapping, and so like we don't have any of those risks. Like we're gonna just do this forever. Like, you know, we really just focus as much as we possibly can on creating the best customer experience possible, and like that's what like the vision for the company is. It's like, how can we make something that is just delightful? Like, how can we make a video that people receive, like the consumer receives, and they're just like, that was awesome. Like first we want to have them like an irresistible thumbnail, right? So we also personalize the thumbnail with their name and stuff. But like, how can we get them something that they're like, whoa, like this is not like all the other stuff I receive. It's way better. And then they can watch it and then they can be like, okay, that was awesome. I really like that. And how we can get that experience for everyone. Because that really is like, at the end of the day, what's going to drive those conversion rates and revenue for the company is lots of little tricks, but it's making like really authentic content that resonates with the end user, and then figuring out a way to personalize that at scale so that everyone can get something that's meant for them, made for them, and create like an awesome experience. So like we just focus as much as we can like customer experience, and we know that if we can create the best possible customer experience for our customers, then that will create the best possible experience for our customers.
That makes total sense. You're focusing on what moves the needle. That's what matters. It was awesome having you, man. It was a superb conversation. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it was great to be on. Thanks so much for having me, Brad.